Students, welcome back to Computer Science online classes. I am Rajeshri Reddy. So, in your computer science subject, the second chapter number 2, that is flow charting. So, in this chapter, we are learning different types of symbols, that how we are going to use and what is the how we should follow it. Next, learning objectives. So whatever in this chapter we are learning, children, first understand and write the algorithm. First we will understand and we will write the algorithm. Describes the symbol used to create a flowchart. So what are the different types of symbols that we are using in it to draw the flowcharts, and draw flowcharts to perform a task. So what different types of symbols, and what we are doing, we are drawing the flowchart to perform a task. Next, so first we'll go through the introduction part. So in introduction part, to perform any task, what we should know? First, we should know the steps to be done. So next, the sequence of that steps. This helps us in completing the task correctly. So what are the first, we should know the steps. Then again, what are the step-by-step sequence? Then, for example, cooking. Before cooking, we should the things what we wanted to know, that what we wanted to prepare and what are the steps to be done. So, for example, giving the road direction. If you wanted to go anywhere, we should know the road direction. Like that, using any modern gadgets and appliances. Then we'll give the step-by-step introduction. So for example, simple example you can take while switching on the computer. First what we'll do, we will switch on the button. Then what we'll do, we will switch on the UPS. Then afterwards we'll switch on the CPU. Then again we will switch on the monitor. So these are the step-by-step procedure that we need to know. Next, algorithm. Before starting the flowchart, we should know the algorithm. Okay, the set of step-by-step instruction to perform a particular task is called an algorithm. Then these steps, these set of instruction when coded in any programming language are known as programmer. So what are the set of instructions, okay, when it is coded in a programming language are known as programmers. Then a computer program helps us to communicate with the computer. Algorithms are generally written in natural English language, that is pseudocodes. Next, rule for writing an algorithm. So what are the rules we need to write an algorithm? So first, always we'll begin with the keyword start. Okay, always we should start with the keyword start. Always write each statement in a separate line. Number each statement such as 1, 2 and so on. Use the keyword input or read when you take input values. What we are doing, we should give the input as read. Okay. Then next, the keyword print or write to show the output value. What we are giving the keyword print to write the output value. Then what we are using the keyword stop at the end of the algorithm. Okay, these are the rules that we should know to write the algorithm. So calculate and print the sum of two numbers. So first we will know how to calculate and the print sum of two numbers. First one is start. What we should write, children? Writing the algorithm, but that is start. Then read the first number, store it as x. Then read the second number, store it as y. So take x equals to 10, then y equals to 10, then add the two number 10 plus 10, 20. So what will print? 20. So print sum 20 equals to stop. Okay. This is how we are writing the algorithm. Next, decision making statements. So, while solving a problem, we may find a situation where we have two options and we need to choose one option. So, we access both the option and take a decision. So, first one is what? Simple statement. Simple if statement. When the condition after if it is true, the following statements are executed. Otherwise, it is ignored. So, if it is true means it will be executed. Otherwise, it will be ignored. Then if else statement, when the condition after if it is true, the statement mentioned between if else are executed. Otherwise, the statement mentioned after else are executed. So it will check both the condition, which one it will be true, it will be executed. So compare two numbers and print the smaller one. So first what we'll do is write the algorithm start. Then second, read the first number, store it is as x. So what we are doing, comparing the two number and what we are printing, which is the smaller one. Next, read the second number, store it is as y. Then check if x equals to y or not. So we are checking out. Then if x equals to y, then what we'll do, we'll go to the step 5. What? Print the number are equal. Then we will go to 9th step, that is stop. Else what will go? We'll go to the 6th step. So what it is? Check if x is smaller than y, go to the step 7. Else go to the step 8. So if x is smaller, then what will go? What will print? X is smaller, then it will go to step 9, that is stop. If y is smaller, then it will print. Y is smaller, then it will go to the stop. So this is how we are printing the number, that is smaller 1. Next, we'll come to the flowchart. Before flowchart, we should know to write the algorithm, children. Then after we should come to the flowchart. A flowchart is a graphical or a symbolic representation of the sequential instruction necessary to perform a task. It uses different kinds of symbols and flow lines to formulate the workflow. So in this chapter, we are knowing that what type of symbols we are using in the flow chart. So first symbol, see, name, it is a start and stop box. So what is the description for this? It is used to mark the beginning or end of the flow chart. So next, input and output box. It is used for taking input or giving output results. So you should remember these box, children, to draw the flow chart. Next symbol is process box. It is used to show the process, what it is used to show the process, and it will do the calculation also of the data like adding, subtracting, division, everything will be done in the process box. Next, decision making. If it is true or false, it will be shown in this symbol. So this is called a decision box. It is used to show a step in which the program has to decide between two or more action depending upon the outcomes of the calculation. So if it is a two or more decision we have to take, then we are using the decision box. Next, what is this? These are the flow lines. So these are used to connect one symbol to another symbol. The flow lines indicates the direction of a flow of the instruction or a process. The different box in the flow charts are connected using the flow lines. So this is the connector symbol. So connector are used to connect different parts of the flow charts together. Connectors may connect flow charts on the same page or in a different page. Okay. If it is the end of the page, then we should draw this connector and we will go to the next new page. So these connectors are useful. Again, it is useful to connect the different parts of the flow charts together. Next, we'll see the example of the flow chart. First, we know the algorithm of sum of the two numbers, children. Now we are going to know the flow chart of two numbers. Okay, first one is which start button. Okay, next start Then next read the first number x. So first we wrote the algorithm, then again we are drawing the flowchart of it. So read the first number x, then read the second number y, then sum equals to x plus y, then print sum, then stop. So as I said, if x equals to 10, then y equals to 10, sum x plus y equals to 10 plus 10, 20. What we are printing the sum? 20. Then stop. Next, we'll go to the iterative statement. Iterative statement is nothing but a looping. So looping means what? Repeatedly. Okay, repeatedly the process will be given. So the process of repeating a set of instructions or a statement for a specified number of time is called a iteration or a looping. The concept of looping helps us to avoid writing the instruction repeatedly to complete a task. So what we are doing, print the name of your school 5 times. So how? First we'll see the algorithm of it, how to do. Next, first what we'll do, the keyword start. Next, read the school name, store it as school name. What we are giving the input value as a school name. Then count how many times you wanted to take, 10 times, 20 times, 5 times, that is left to you. So count equals to 1. So first we will start from 1, that print school name. Then count equals to count plus 1. Then how many times we are giving the looping statement? That is 5 times. So if count is less than or equals to 5, go to the step 4. Then stop. This is the algorithm. First we should write. Then we will see the flow chart. Start. So this is the start symbol. Then in the input what we are giving, read the school name as school name. Then in the process box, count equals to 1. Then print the school name. What we are printing, children? The school name. Count equals to count plus 1. Then decision box, is count is less than or equals to 5. Then stop. So how many times we are printing it, children? 5 times. So it will check 5 times. So one time will done means again it will go back to the, again it will print school name again, up to 5 times it will be printed. The same procedure, when it met the condition, then it will come out of the loop. So this is the flow chart. Before we saw the algorithm, then this is the flow chart. First we should write the algorithm, then we should draw the flow chart. When we will go for grade 9, 10, then you will study in depth of these flow charts and algorithm, then you will write the programs. Okay. Then so this is the second chapter, that is the algorithm and flow chart. Okay, children. Then see you in the next sessions, next video. Okay, mean that. Thank you, children.